Hey there, guys. Just sitting here on break, scrolling through, just trying to pick up some new stuff, and keep scrolling across all this stuff about 604 Racing. I'm subscribed to the channel. Dude's got some pretty good videos. I mean, you can see, there's a lot of people out there talking about this, or at least putting videos, and people watching, paying attention. I'm so new, I didn't even know what mods were until I had to ask. But it kind of makes a difference when you're making a real foray into something this expensive. You're just trying to figure out what you can find and do. Like, you're interested in this game or that game, and then somebody tells you, hey, you can make it better, you can do this, you can do that. As a matter of fact, this guy here at SimRacing604, he showed me where to get some of this new software to get weather effects and all this cool stuff. But really, in this whole copyright strikes thing, what would I have to offer the conversation? Well, if you go here and take a look, Assetto Corsa mods, these dudes look for real. I mean, they're selling stuff to to make the game better for you to get into. And I don't know any better. Like, for instance, the Benetton cars, I really like those. I built a whole Benetton B194 in 1/10 scale. Well, I'm still working on it, but for me, if I was to mod a car, I mean, I bought this whole, look at this. I bought this whole F1 2020 edition. I didn't even care about driving F1 cars. I bought it because I wanted to drive Michael Schumacher's car, the Benetton ones. And just for fun, not race. But when you're new, you don't necessarily know where to go or who to talk to. I mean, it's kind of a small community, and you're just kind of jamming yourself in there and, trying to learn. But when you come over and find a channel like this, and you can see, because of all this, I subscribed. I found a whole bunch of information that I really like. So for my part, I just like to say, and you can see the channel's still up, his videos are still up. It seems like YouTube may just be like pulling that one video and, hey, you can't do it. If the word on the street's correct, and I don't know if it is, I really hope they don't pull down this guy's channel. So ultimately, YouTube, don't pull down this guy's channel. I use this for me and many other people. Look at this, 30,000 people. You're going to tell them to, go somewhere else because this guy's got some drama going on with some other company? I mean, look at all this great information. And when you're a new guy or person, whatever, you're trying to find all this information, ultimately to have a better experience. So when I find good channels like this, obviously I'm what I'm trying to get at is, if I buy a bunch of mods from these dudes, and it turns out, and I'm not saying that it is because I don't know, but if it turns out that they took a bunch of stuff from these dudes, and now I've got it involved in my games, does that violate my license agreements with these guys? Because I don't know about all this stuff. Like, this modding thing almost sounds like dangerously close to hacking your fucking video game. But maybe it's cool. Maybe, obviously, this whole Assetto Corsa mod community is like massive. And if you can do some cool shit, why not make some money on it? But you shouldn't do it if it's like off of stolen stuff. And how does somebody new know the difference? Right here. You see what I'm saying? Like, these guys have been here for long enough that they tell us new kids, hey, you don't want to go messing around with these guys. They're not, it's not good stuff. So there's my 2 cents coming from somebody new. How do you know what you're messing around with when you get into the kind of the weeds about some of the software stuff. And I'm not saying that these dudes have got anything going wrong. I have no idea. But look at how legitimate they look on this website. It would be terrible for me to go buying somebody's stuff and then later on finding out that I'm like ripping them off. Or even worse, that I lose this whole thing just because I wanted some cool new skin to drive in the game that I drive more often. So I hope that just simply from a new kid standpoint, YouTube, please don't take this guy down and like destroy all of his work, because all of his work helps the rest of us, which grows this community, which ultimately grows YouTube, I would think. I'm not getting into the weeds about, you know, who's wrong, who's right. I think that this dude sounds like this dude's being, or potentially being, treated poorly. Now, what I'm looking at is his channel. I've been watching this stuff all night long, trying to learn, because he's solid. So far as I can tell, YouTube probably did the right thing, and, you know, hey, we're just going to be knocking down this one video, you know, this and that. I don't understand this whole strikes thing. So, you know, I really hope, just from a fan standpoint and somebody new, they can understand that without seeing all the background stuff, I'm looking at some valuable piece of information being taken based on maybe, you know, was he telling the truth about these guys? And if that's the case, him in a little video telling the truth is the last of their worries. Because I heard on some other video, and wouldn't be watching this stuff if it wasn't such a big deal. Like if they wouldn't have threatened to yank his whole channel, I probably would never know about this. But of course I start looking and digging around, and other video channels are saying that they're going to yank him down permanently. Well, they also said that Codemasters, who operate this game, has been made aware. And if these dudes over here have been doing something hinky, and I'm not saying they have, I hope they haven't, because that would be very, very bad. Because you notice this giant ass F1 logo in there. Those dudes do not play around with their money. So if you're stealing stuff off of these guys' software, and these guys are owning and licensed by F1, taking down this dude's video, you wasted your time when you should have been calling your lawyer. But I'm only coming at it from a standpoint of, I paid a lot of money for this, and if I install some of their mods that turn out to be illegal, do I lose my ability to play this because I've got stolen stuff over here and didn't know about it? That's what I'm saying. Like, when you don't know, these are questions that come into your mind. And a lot of times you're going to find out from very experienced places like this. So YouTube, I hope you don't take this guy down, because him and a lot of the other gamers out there are the only ones that we have to learn from, you know, outside of, I don't know, man. When you're new, you don't really know where to go. So this is a very nice, easy place to go, and they're providing great information. So please don't take him down. It seems like such an overreaction. If in fact you are taking him down. If not, well, disregard it, man. And everybody should subscribe to this guy if you're looking for decent information, because he's got some pretty cool, and he's mellow. His voice is nice and mellow. It's easy to listen to. So if you're not already subscribed, freaking hit that button on 604. This dude's pretty solid. And again, YouTube, don't take this dude away. Obviously there's a discussion to be had about his other video or whatever, but that's it for me. I don't want to be buying weird, crazy stuff that gets me in trouble, and good people like this guy seem to be, you know, willing to step up and say something about the bad stuff that happens. He shouldn't be punished for that, at least to my mind, because he's, you know, this is the only kind of source of information we have for getting into this. So there it is, man. I'd definitely go support this 604 guy.